What is up? Welcome to another episode of Get Close. I'm your co-host, Gio.
And I'm Bart.
And today we have a very special guest, one of my favorite. This homie in the room right now has been a ride or die for at least 6 or 7 years. We've had this person. If you identify as a person, I'm sorry if you don't.
I don't think so.
But you were here before Taika was ever here. And Mr. Bear, I'm so happy to have you here. He's a little sick, so he's not going to be talking much. But honestly, we've had this fucking bear sitting in a chair. If you're listening, there's no guest. We have a bear, like those big-ass giant Costco bears today. And the minute I laid my eyes on this guy, I wanted him. I'm like, I love him. And we ended up buying these bears for our parents.
Yes.
Yeah, we got 3 of them. Two of them. One for each dad.
No, 3. One for Taika, one for
Taika
your
wasn't
dad.
even born yet.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, just 2 of them then. So
Yeah.
No, 3. One for us.
Oh, right.
One for your
And
dad,
then they,
one for my dad.
Yeah, and then we ended up getting them all back.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I know the title. I get it. Stop stalling. Let's just jump into it. Yes, we are planning on having another baby.
Start over.
Why?
You didn't address that we're happy to be able to do the 2 is just the you and me.
Oh, I just felt I stalled so much with this.
Then
thing.
we'll ignore this one line and then we'll hit it with
Okay,
the
fine. Go.
Yeah.
You want to reset it?
No, we'll just roll.
Okay.
Okay, so that was just practice, and this is the real one.
3, 2, 1. Hey, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Get Close. I'm your co-host, Gio.
And I'm Bart.
And today we have a very special guest, this big-ass bear sitting in our chair that we've had longer than we've had Taika. And today we just wanted a vibe. We just wanted a mama bear, papa bear conversation. I'm looking at your crotch and you have a big-ass hole and it's very distracting.
I did that on purpose.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm kind of happy we don't have a guest today.
Yeah.
Because me and Gio get to get a little bit personal like we used to, that I miss a lot.
I do too.
And then afterwards, get a little personal and personal.
I got fucked up because Taika does a lot of beatboxing now.
That's true.
But no, I like this. I feel like we've been so slammed and we've been so busy that we just don't really get to connect.
Yeah.
And slammed in terms of like business, slammed in terms of parenting, slammed in terms of just schedule.
And we've had so many dope ass friends that we've been wanting to put on and also share their story.
Yeah.
That we jam packed it. And then we're like, oh, you know what we miss? Just when we used to just talk about our lives, get more in depth in detail, because when we have these talks, it's very intentional.
Yeah.
It's you and me zoned in. We're not worrying about who's gonna cook dinner, washing dishes, Taika running around, or anything like that. It's just you and me, and it's really intimate. And it reminds me of our old ones when we had the super ghetto setup, but at least now I get to look at you straight on.
Oh yeah.
And it's not like this weird
that was
side-eye.
kind of weird. I was like sitting here watching you speak, and I was like, why does this feel weird? And it's because we just never really looked at each other.
Yeah.
We're making intense eye contact right
And
now.
I love it. I really love it. I love talking to you.
Fuck, I wish I would have put in my contacts. You're kind of a little bit blurry.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So you told me I got all dolled up just so you can't look at me?
No, you look great.
That's what I
It's
thought.
just a little fuzzy.
That's what I fucking thought.
It's a little fuzzy.
Yep.
Okay, so are we gonna talk about what we're gonna talk about?
Oh, yeah.
Right. So as the title already tells you,
Oh, one other thing I want to add. The reason why I really like these talks with just you and me, and it's, with our vlogs and stuff, we just try to capture all the coolest memories of our life, right? Like things that we think are cool moments when friends visit, big milestones in Taika's life and our life and stuff. But those are all just like coverage pieces, like we document it. But in these one-on-one podcasts, we actually dive deep into some of those milestones.
yeah.
Which I think is so cool. Like recently we had Joe come over and he was hanging out and we went hiking and all that. But to be able to dive deep into
That's
why
true.
he went on all these travels in the last year or two.
Did you know all that stuff that we talked about? Did you know that that's where his heart and his head was?
A little bit, because like when you don't have an intentional conversation, sometimes podcast conversations are even better than real conversations. because we might be chilling at a Vietnamese restaurant, right? We're ordering, and then it is talking about, oh man, you got that sick Tacoma. Have you gone off roading yet? Yeah, man. So I plan on going to Utah. And like, okay, well, you want to order, man? You want this? You want that? You know, and you're just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then by the time they leave, and then another guest joins us. Oh man, haven't seen you guys in a long time. Oh, what's up, Anthony? How you been? How's Kinjas? And then it's already like the 2-3 sentences we got in the travel momentum.
Or you're not crying at a restaurant. You're not trying to.
Yeah, it goes pow, 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 pow. And then so with the intentional one, it's like, yo, man, I've been seeing this or this happen. Tell me all about it. And it's so cool. Like this topic, right? The topic that we have yet to talk about.
Yeah, we really didn't talk about it. I think it was one of those where Taika came into the picture. Yeah. So even before Taika, I always said that I wanted multiple kids. And then
what was your number? Remember before we got
4.
married?
Yeah, it was 4.
And I was like, oh, that's good because I want 5.
Yeah, it was 4. And then I also said in the beginning of our relationship that as soon as kids are entering the picture, I didn't want to work anymore.
Yeah.
Because I grew up with parents that were always gone, not as much as yours.
Yeah.
I was definitely not a latchkey kid by any means, but I remember a phase in my life when I was in high school, I believe, that my mom, she had surgery, and she needed to be home from work. My mom's the type of person that does not miss work. Like, she's punctual. She's very dependable. She never gets sick. And if she does get sick, she just doesn't know how to like chill.
I know. I remember we went to go watch the Paw Patrol concert in Vegas.
Yeah.
And your mom had like food poisoning.
Oh, right.
And even then, she still kept to herself. Like,
you can't even tell. It was normal, business as usual.
Yeah, I think like we were all getting ready to leave to go to the concert. And your mom got ready first, of course, because we got to get Taika ready, right? So we're getting him ready. And your mom is already outside of the hotel room. And you know, like hotel room doors, when they lock on, or when they close, they lock by themselves. It closes. Then I hear like, deet, deet, deet. Not even like a do, 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 like a deet, deet, deet. I'm like, yes, Ma? She goes, I need to use the bathroom. I'm like, oh yeah, sure, come in. And I open, and then she kind of like tiptoes in, and she goes,
you saw all that?
Yeah, like she was just like, and then you see like the pouring sweat on her forehead, and she looks pale, and I'm like, Ma, just go. I could tell she's about to yak or shit her pants or fucking whatever. And then she's like, it's not gonna be nice. I'm like, don't worry, we're gonna leave this room. You have all the privacy, let it all out.
Yeah.
You know, and then
That's her biggest fear too.
Yeah, we go in the hallway and we're just waiting. And she comes out, she goes, I don't think I'm gonna make it, guys. I'm like, just take a nap. You don't need to.
No, I think she just
hold
said
it all
she
in.
made it, but she was just like, I think I need to lay down for a little bit.
Maybe it was for the dinner.
It was like so small.
Yeah, maybe it was the dinner after or something. But
Yeah.
there was one thing we all went to go do it. Like she did the main concert, but whatever we went to go do after or whatever.
She's like, I ain't doing it.
She's like, I'm just gonna stay in. I'm like, do whatever you gotta do.
Yeah. So having that person, which is dope as a parent, and then not really knowing what I was missing until she had surgery and she was bedridden for, I think, like maybe even a week. Coming home and then having her be super involved in my life was like, it just took me, I don't know, it just took me to a different place in like my heart that I'm like, holy shit, I love this. This was so cool. I'd never, like, my mom was really involved. Like, my mom knew all my friends' parents. She knew where I was at every minute of the day. So she's super involved, but never like on a personal level, you know. And as a teenager too, like, you're fucking, at least I was a piece of shit. So I can see how I was super withdrawn and I was probably super annoying, but having her be there and be soft and like not feel stressed from work or whatever, and having her ask questions like, how was your day? I was like, oh shit.
But did you see like a night and day difference with your mom from
yeah,
working and then from not having to work and being a house mom?
Yeah, absolutely. Because again, she didn't have these stressors, you know, like there was an excuse for her to be in bed and for to be home and to be sitting down, because my mom calls herself a little spider. Like, she doesn't know how not to do stuff.
Yeah, she doesn't like being idle.
She hates it. So getting a taste of that, I told myself that I would do everything in my power to provide that for my future kids. Because
you felt what it feels like to have the mom at home and the warmth that it provided.
Yeah. So then Taika comes into the picture.
I also do, before you say that, I also want to apologize that I don't think I ever took what you said seriously.
Yeah, no, you didn't.
No, I know, because when you said that you wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, I think this is both as someone I know loves to say this, a gift and a curse. And it's a gift because I'm good at zooming out and I can see things for what they are and not bad or good or right or wrong, but more for what is the statistics or probability of something being reality. But that's the gift part. The curse part is I think sometimes I neglect other people's feelings.
Sometimes.
And so, for example,
a lot of the time.
I know. So, for example,
you're better now for sure.
So, for when you said that, right?
Yeah.
I zoomed out and I go, okay, cool. 2 23-year-olds. How many people say that? What's the chances of that happening in the modern age? Not very much. She's knee deep in creatives. I'm knee deep in creatives. Are we going to be able to have that? So I was just looking at career trajectory, how much you can take someone at that age, what they say seriously, right? Like, for example, Taika says he wants to be a chef. He's 4 years old. 97% chance he probably is not gonna be a chef. You know, so like I take all.
Yeah, but you and I were pretty extreme people. When we say we're gonna do some shit, it's pretty much we're gonna do some shit. You know, like I think both you and I have shown each other that once we commit to an idea,
yeah,
it's hard for us to stray from that idea.
So the minute that you incepted that idea,
yeah,
I go, cool, 99% chance it's probably gonna happen, right?
Yeah.
But each day that goes on where we don't plan for it, then it kind of loses a percent. That's how I work. Yeah. Right? Someone that goes, oh man, I'm gonna go on this weight loss journey. Oh hell yeah, dude, I got your back. Come to Barbell, you're the homie. You come train for free for 30 days, you know?
Yeah.
They skip the first week. In my mind, I'm like, okay, 70% chance probably not happening.
Yeah, yeah.
2 weeks later, yo man, what's that Carl's Jr. all about? Oh, it's not happening at all. And then so I think for us, everything that we did, we had a plan. You know, when we wanted to build Barbell, we wanted to do JK, we structured our day. Okay, we're gonna write from 11 to whatever. But with our family thing, we never hit milestones like, okay, this is the available time we're going to need in the day to have kids. This is what we think will make us financially stable. Like the very big key things to living that stay-at-home lifestyle that we want. We never really planned for it. And
we didn't need to, because I mean, financially, we were really fucking good. You know what I mean? And we are our own bosses.
Yes and no, because financially, we're good with double income, right? So
even with solo income, it's really fucking good.
Yeah, but but we're still in LA, you know. So it's like LA. It's like you buy $1 million home and it still needs repairs, right? Like if you want to be inside LA. So it's just and that's why I'm saying that's the curse part of me, where I looked at things so numerically and logistically that when things started playing out, I'm like, oh, okay, I guess that's not happening. And so that's why I'm apologizing now based off of the logic that I had. I never it never felt like it was going to go through. And 2, I didn't respect the emotional part enough to where I go, you know what? This means a lot for Marbear. And if she's not going to start the planning, maybe I should.
Yeah. I mean, we've had this conversation already too. So like a lot of these things are hashed out, so excuse me if I'm not like emotionally, like if I seem emotionally withdrawn. Like we've had this conversation, you've apologized. One of the reasons you also said too in the past was that you just didn't see me as someone that would want that. Like you assumed that being a stay-at-home mom was something that was beneath my skill set.
Not beneath your skill set.
Yeah.
But outside of the personality you have expressed in the last 3 years.
In these last 3 years?
In the last 3 years since you've spoken.
What the fuck does that mean?
So at the time of when those words exited your oral cavity.
Like when we were dating?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Before JK, before any of that?
When the JK starts.
Because I wasn't in JK yet when we had this conversation.
Yeah. Even like 2-3 years into JK.
Yeah.
Just that whole period, I'm like, oh, okay. It doesn't seem like
Of course, at that point, I hated your guts and you hated my guts.
Not 3 years into JK.
Or
That
at
was
least
like 5 years into JK.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. So like,
I just because you have such clear cut numbers, I'm like, is that really the timeline?
it is. It very is.
Oh, shut up.
That's, I mean, and that's why I'm saying it's a gift and a curse.
Yeah.
Where like I see things and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. This fool's driving around with the spare tire on his car. I don't think he really cares about his car. He would have got it swapped out.
Yeah,
you know?
I guess I do take your apology, but you were absolutely off, right? Like your mental math is cool when it comes to inanimate objects, I guess. Because when it came to the people part of things, yeah, you just kind of took it however you wanted to take it without having a conversation with me.
Yeah.
And we had like just the shittiest time together, you know?
Yeah.
So of course I didn't want to have kids. Like I just didn't want anything anymore. I didn't even know what I wanted. I was just like, I'm just going to put my head down and just work. And then it wasn't till you and I started fixing everything that I was like, oh shit, this seems like it's a healthy relationship now where we can introduce the conversation of having another kid. And I think when we started
the first kid.
the first kid, sorry. And then when things were healthy between us, then that's when the actual planning happened. And then that's when we got pregnant, or I got pregnant. And
no, we got pregnant.
All right,
it's 2022. We got to say the right things.
Okay, fine. We both shared fucking the same first trimester fucking woes.
Yep.
And at that point, me staying back and being a full-time mom was actually a real thing. And I did it. I did it for like a good 2 years, I believe. But I didn't get to do it in a way where...
Not fully. I think you're still like half in, half out. There's still work stresses.
Kind of. Not really, though. Like,
really?
Yeah, I was out. I was out.
But you were still waking up at 4 a.m. doing like Barbell Brigade stuff.
Not really, no.
Remember?
I was doing more JK stuff than
like
barbell stuff.
During like pandemic stuff, we're still like waking up at 4 a.m. in our
No,
Glendora
that's already.
house.
I'm back in though. I'm already back in at that point.
Okay, so that's like year 3.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about like year 1, year 2.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your phone went off.
I apologize that this
It's okay.
ruined our
There's
little date.
There's gonna be a lot of apologizing in this fucking video. Yeah. So for at least the first year solid, a first year and a half maybe, I was still doing JK. I wasn't doing so much barbell. Like you had taken a lot of that off.
Yeah.
And JK I didn't really see as work because at that point I had already diminished so much of my like day-to-day duties. I think at that point I was probably just cast. And just being cast is a shit, right? You get a call sheet, which means this is where you're going to show up. This is how much time we're going to film. This is how you need to dress. This is what we're filming. I get this call sheet. I just show up and I just shoot the shit as Geo myself. And it was fun as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I get a taste of that, but I feel guilty the entire time because I'm just like, I just left my whole team behind. I left you behind. I just couldn't contribute. And it just didn't feel right. I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't have the full-time mom experience that I wanted.
How come it didn't feel right if you wanted to be a mom the whole time and you finally got it? Why doesn't it feel right to go like, hey, see you later, team. This is what I've been wanting.
I just felt it was fucked up. I just felt it was too abrupt. I just felt it was just really mean. I just didn't think I don't know. Maybe at that point I just wasn't mentally where I am now.
Maybe you have more of a heart than you put on.
Hey, I've changed a lot. A lot of that public perception. I have a lot of heart.
Because that's like me
I'm doing
saying
a
like,
lot of Q&A with like with my community on Instagram and stuff, and like I show nothing but heart all the goddamn time. I'm all heart.
Because that's me like saying like, hey man, I just want to be like an action hero, right? Ever since day one, like when I'm 5.
But I didn't say that publicly.
And then I finally like get it. Like Marvel's like, no, not Marvel. Marvel already got their Asian. DC is like, yo.
There could be a ton of Asians, dude.
Yeah, maybe the first Asian Wolverine. There's a multiverse. So maybe I'm the first Asian Wolverine and they're like, yo, we need you. And then I'm like, you know what? But the JK family? I think I'll bounce. I'm like, what?
Yeah, well, it's
this
different.
Is what I've been wanting to do.
It's different. It's different because I had changed so much. I had changed so much. I thought I was one way and then I wasn't. And I mean, I think it's okay for people to change, right?
Nah,
I think
you're not allowed to change on the internet.
Yeah, that's true. On the internet,
whatever you say
change.
in 2017,
it is. You better be it.
You have to die by it in 2030.
Yeah, it's so interesting how people view people online as like not human.
Yeah,
it's so interesting to me. So yeah, the entire time that I'm away from Barbell, I feel shitty. So then I think around year 3, Taika's year 3, then I'm like, okay, I'll come back. And just being pregnant too, I've said this so many times on so many different platforms, but I just didn't like it. I just felt super incapable. I just didn't like the feeling of it. Like I like obviously the result of it because I have my best friend, you know, and I have the cutest little monkey dude and I fucking love him and I love the whole thing. But I don't know. I didn't, there's girls out there and women out there that love being pregnant. My sister's one of them. She's like, oh God, it was so beautiful. And I loved it. And I loved my belly and I loved feeling all that and stuff. And I just could never relate. When I had it, I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's not my cup of tea.
You want to hear something crazy?
What? You always wanted to be pregnant?
No.
Okay.
I love being a dad.
I fucking love being a mom.
I love being a dad.
That's not crazy.
No, it is crazy.
Okay.
Because I love being a dad so much that whatever we've built that like from the outside, right? There's like people that deem us successful, right? Because we got a big house, we got cool cars and all that stuff. I would give it all away for a simpler life. Like I work at UPS or something, you know, something where it's like middle class. I like blue collar work versus white collar work. I like moving around. My ADD is crazy. I can't be sitting there all day. But if I could be a cop, UPS guy, fucking landscaper, construction worker, whatever, and it's a solid 9 to 5. I don't work
You don't
before.
care who
I
work
don't work
with
after.
you.
I go
Yeah.
home and I could just be dad. I actually would love that. But kind of like you, I have a lot of loyalty and indebtment that I feel like to the team and stuff like that. Like Barbell, we easily got like 20 people that we feed. JK, easily 10, 15 people that we feed. And we have families that we're just, you know, internet families kind of that we all kind of like support each other. So, you know, when you are like in this position of owning a business and a network like this, you can't just unplug yourself because there is not only the aftermath, but the aftermath to the aftermath to the aftermath. You know,
Yeah.
it's like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It's like you can't just go, why doesn't he just do this? Well, because if he does this, this person does this, and that person does this, and then
Yeah, there's a domino effect.
Yeah, exactly. But if there was a genie, I didn't know that being a dad was gonna be so freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I would go, yeah, dude, fucking sign me up at the fucking local Costco. I'll be there packing whatever as long as I can come home by 5. And you know, that's how much I love being a papa.
Yeah. I mean, you're a fucking awesome dad. You're the best dad.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're super cool. You're super fair. You really validate him. I could cry. It's so cutie.
But at the same time, though, like saying that, what's nuts is I think no matter what you say to show or tell someone how they're supposed to live, the best example is always how you live.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so I think like there's the biggest benefit to me hustling, even though it pulls me away from Taika sometimes, is showing him what hustling is.
Yeah.
You know, all the immigrant families where their parents work 2 jobs or they're like working at the dry cleaners. It's like, yeah, they never saw their dad that much, but their work ethic ironically comes from that, which is crazy.
I guess it depends on what it is that you value.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you value setting up the generations? Do you value instilling a lot of hand-on-hand lessons, you know, with the kid? It just depends.
And that's the thing that I think both pull it apart, right? Like even when we had Thatch on, it's like you want the kid to be comfortable, but with comfort comes coddling, right? And then so with like let's say with me being around more, with that also comes my dad doesn't hustle as much as that dad does. But on the same token, the more that I hustle, my dad's not around.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
Everything
I feel like,
has a pro and a con.
yeah. So like just finding that fine line.
Yeah.
And so for me, like what worked out ended up being was the work schedule that we have. You know, we crush it as fucking hard as we can from 7 till 3 p.m. And we pick up Taika from school.
Some of us wake up at 7. Some of us wake up at 4.
That's what I've been trying to tell you.
I wake up at 4.
Yeah. But you know, like even stuff like that, where Taika's an early bird, right?
Yeah.
And he wakes up at 5:30.
Son of a bitch.
And he goes to the bed, and Ma Bear's laying there sleeping.
Yeah,
and he goes to the office, and Papa's hustling at 4 a.m. already. He's
right. It's the opposite.
He's like, I know who hustles, you know?
Yeah, right.
So even like stuff like that, it shows him so much without saying shit.
Yeah.
You know, but just finding that fine line of how do I show him I'm hustling, but I'm also here for you all the time.
Yeah, that one is
like what you're trying to do.
Yeah,
you know?
that one is rough. So yeah, I come back to work. So I just didn't like being pregnant. And then that sounds like such a harsh word. Like I didn't like it. Like I love the idea
but
that
all moms relate though.
Yeah.
The minute you say that, you know, yes, queen, yes, with their fucking fingernails on their palm, yes. You know, like how many moms are like, who the fuck likes throwing up randomly the first 3 months?
Yeah, I have a lot of girlfriends right now
who
that
likes fucking heartburn? You know, random fucking heartburn.
Yeah,
who
that's
likes
just not me. Yeah,
not
okay.
fitting into their favorite clothes.
I know. Look at how cute I look right now.
They're not even bulking.
Yeah,
they're just. Why is this happening? You know?
Their body's just invaded.
And then what you had fucking carpal tunnel, right? Which is like normal, like you get bloating, and so you're trying to bench when you're pregnant, but your wrists were just hurting.
Now my beautiful fake tits just look real now.
What do you mean? They're fucking still sexy.
They're sexy, but I wanted that fake fucking Pamela Anderson or like right underneath my goddamn chin. I want everyone to know that they were fucking fake. No, I'm just kidding.
That's so easy to do.
I know. I'm being exaggerated. I'm trying to be funny. I'm trying to hold back a lot of tears right now.
Why?
Because I just did my makeup and I don't do my makeup.
I know, but what kind of tears?
When I was describing how cool of a dad you are. Like right now I'm choking up because it's just so cutie.
Oh.
But anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so that I didn't like it. I loved giving birth and doing all that stuff because I was like, holy shit, my body did that. What? I look at Taika now and I'm like, I can't believe I created that. With your seasons and spices and shit.
Yeah, you're the main ingredient.
Yeah, but I was the oven.
You're the water, the flour, and the oven.
Yeah.
But which kind of tastes like shit if you just put those 3 in. You need the cinnamon and the frosting.
How can we get the good ingredients?
That's what I am, I think. It literally, like when it comes out, it looks like the frosting on the cinnamon rolls. Yeah.
So then I didn't like it, and then I felt guilty the entire time I was away from the team. I come back and I just tell myself I don't want to be in that situation anymore. I don't want to experience the unliking the pregnancy thing, and I also don't want to feel guilty removing myself from the equation of our businesses.
So there's physical and emotional factors.
And I like publicly said online like no more kids, and that one too is there's a lot of pressure online. You know, like. I understand where it comes from, and it comes from a place of love and support. And they're like, fuck, this human that you created is so fucking rad. Like, we want more, you know? And like, I get where it comes from, but when you hear it literally every fucking day, multiple times a day, it's kind of nuts. It kind of gets nuts.
But it's also understanding where it comes from.
Absolutely. That's why I've said that first.
For them.
What does that mean?
They're just regurgitating.
Oh.
Right? Like, when they go to their grandma's house, to their abuelita's house.
When are you going to have a kid?
To their nai-nai's house.
Yeah.
Right? They're same shit. So it's like, oh, where's your kid? When are you going to get married? All that stuff, right? So I think like these...
Is it nai-nai milk?
That's neonai.
Oh.
It's similar.
Oh, I see.
But it's like all of that, it's comes from somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just, to me, I when I read it, I go, oh, it's just regurgitation.
Yeah, but you read it and you can never have a kid.
What do you mean?
It's not on you. You know what I mean? Like, it's on the mom. It's always on the woman.
Yeah. No, it's on me too. I'm like,
you have no say in it.
What?
You have very minimal
How
say.
are you going to have a kid by yourself?
You're going to have very... I wouldn't be by myself.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
You have very minimal say.
I have a lot of say.
What do you mean?
No, when they say like that stuff, I read it too, right?
Yeah.
When they're like, when are you going to have another kid? You should have another Taika. Taika's so cute. Taika needs a little brother, a little sister, whatever, right?
Yeah.
I get a lot of pressure too. I'm like, fuck.
You feel pressure too?
Yeah, because I'm like, man,
kind?
I'm so used to busting on the back. But they want me to
you don't bust on my back. Fuck off.
They want me to bust on the inside. I'm like, fuck, I gotta do that for them.
Okay, jokes aside, do you feel pressure?
Nah.
Never? Not at all?
No, because I'm not an emotional woman, you know?
Oh, yeah.
That's why when I hear it, it goes, oh, regurgitation, I get it. Where you coming from? Or like, you know, when you see the guy at the club.
Yeah.
And he puffs his chest out. what, dude? Yeah. And I'm like, oh, this guy's never been in a fight before. He's just trying to peacock, you know?
Yeah.
But I think because I'm so logical, or like the gift and the curse that I'm talking about, I'm probably like, you know, Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey Jr. I'm already calculating. Oh, 70% chance this guy doesn't have cauliflower ear. Look at his knuckles, look so clean. This guy, he's just peacocking so he can avoid the fight. He acted so hard when a security guard came. This guy doesn't want any of this shit, you know? And I can calculate and see what's happening. And then so even with that, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. This is just regurgitation because I am guilty of the same shit. I go, oh, like, you know, when like Aunt had a kid, oh, dude, are you gonna have another kid? And then they had Enzo, or have another friend have a kid. Oh, when you guys, hey, the Tim Cheer, you guys gonna have a kid? Oh, yeah, we're gonna.
Yeah, I don't ask that anymore.
Yeah. Well, for me, I'm like, I know I regurgitate. So I'm like,
Yeah.
probably a ton of other people also regurgitate.
So, yeah, with those reasons and stuff, I just felt like I was doing a public disservice if I left people hanging, right? Because I was still kind of on the fence. And the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, dude, the ideal that I wanted of me being at home with 4 kids, I'm like, that's just not my life. My life didn't go in that direction from the point in which I said it in my early 20s or my mid 20s when we got together. So I kind of just chalked it up as like, okay, well, life kind of just gave us different life events, and like our paths went in a different direction, because at that time I was working at the bank, you know.
There's also that too.
So I understood it for that, and I didn't have any resentment or like sadness over it, you know, like partially because I'm like, oh man, like what could it have been, right?
It's still nostalgic. You still, you know, think about it.
But I mean, my life is rad.
Yeah.
You know, I've done so many dope things. Like, I love the age that we did have our first kid, because at that point we had multiple businesses. We had so much life experience. We traveled the world. We got to like meet so many people. Like, we just did things that normal people don't get to do.
Yeah.
So I think at that point I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I don't want to have any more kids. Like, what's wrong with one kid? And yeah, people in our circle, even online, are like, oh, how can you do that to Taika? He's an only child, you know? But then we know Chim Chantarantsu, right? Who's like, I'm an only kid and I thought it was fucking cool. Like, I loved it. Like, I didn't feel like I needed other siblings. Like, the fact that my parents played with me and gave me attention, like, that was pure fulfillment for me.
Yeah.
So when I
was the only child and I hated it.
Yeah, so like that's the only side I ever saw.
Yeah.
So, and I know we're not regular parents.
And my parents were divorced.
That's even worse.
So not only did I have no siblings,
you had no parents.
I didn't have both parents at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, your shit's super unique. So I never even use you as an example for any of it, because divorce is not in my vocabulary, and we're not your average parents. Like, we're fortunate enough to have built a life where we set the schedule. We can do what we want to do whenever we want to do it. We're highly involved in Taika's development and just playing, and we go out a lot. Like, we just do a lot of different things. So we're already so much different than the life that I was brought into.
Yeah.
So with all of these things, I had made my decision, and I was pretty okay. So I want to say I was like 90% really about it, like really about I'm stopping at 1, but that 10% was still always kind of looming in the back of my mind.
It's always been 10%.
Always.
Because even for me, I thought you were like 99.
Yeah, I mean, I like
99.99.
to think about things a lot, especially when it's a big decision like this. But I didn't want to leave, because I know I can be indecisive. I didn't want to leave any room for me to still stay on the fence about things. So I'd rather just pick a side and like commit to that. And then if anything, like if I have a window to kind of like navigate in, I'm still going to think about it. And this one's not like a set in stone type of thing.
Because
Right?
when you told me when Taika was 2, that you didn't want to anymore, to me that was like 90. But each day that went by, that you're like, put it in my mouth. I'm like, that's not how kids are made, babe. Then I'm like, oh, 95, you know? And I put it in my butt. Put it in my butt. I'm
Well,
like, oh, dude,
okay.
definitely not gonna have kids there.
I know we didn't have this conversation because I think I finally reached this conclusion last month. And the reason why...
God damn, you're fucking indecisive.
Yeah, super.
It took you a long
This
time.
is a big decision, you know? This is a big decision.
You just gotta say fuck it sometimes. You just do
I
something.
did. And I said fuck it. Remember I'm like, just get a vasectomy. And then at that point, it's 100 now. And I don't have to think about anything else.
Yeah.
Because I'm always thinking.
Yeah.
That's my fucking problem. I think too goddamn much. And
God,
remember
good thing I didn't get a vasectomy.
Right. Because if you did, then I'm done. I don't have to think about it anymore. My job is done. We're done. I can move on. But because that didn't happen and you're like, wait, I'm just going to chill.
And because I know you're fucking indecisive as fuck.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, you know what? I would. but I'm gonna wait until you're biologically expired.
Right.
Because
So
I'm like,
then-
this bitch can't make up her mind for shit.
Fine.
Just in case.
Fine. So because you said that, not in those terms, you were definitely a lot sweeter. You're doing it for comedy right now.
Nah. I'm hard. I'm hard.
But because
son.
you left it at that, then I left it open as well. So then for the next couple of years, I kept thinking about it. And I'm like, okay, I'm 38 now at this point recently. I'm like, okay, I really have to decide now. If this is just the one and done, then that's it. I need to get that shit out of my mind, and it needs to get cemented now. Because it was just kind of like on one cement for a few years. And then I really thought about it for this whole entire year of like
living
37,
in Vegas
38.
or what?
Before even Vegas, like I always thought about it. And then we come to Vegas. Vegas didn't really have much to do with it, but the fact that it was more suburban life, more so than where we used to live in Glendora, things are crazier now, but like are slowing down, which is really cool. That I'm going, oh shit, okay, I can start seeing some type of normalcy in my life, right? Because everything's always just kind of been go, 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 fucking new opportunity, take it. This is coming up, take it. Say yes to this, say yes to this. It was always that. That now enrolling Taika into school, having him be in school now, like he's like dressing himself, feeding himself, he takes his own showers, like he's so independent that I'm going, oh shit, like life is fucking happening, but it's also slowing down. So I'm like, fuck. We did that thing, where we always go like 10 years into the future, 20 years into the future, 30, whatever. And like in the past, I would look into that and I'm like, I think it's cool. I think it's cool that it'll just be us three and like other family members when we have our holidays and stuff. Taika will have his friends come over, significant other. Like it's never going to be just us three. And then, I don't know, something one day just clicked that it's like, no, you should just have one more. And I'm like arguing in my own head going, but wait, why? Like we didn't want it at all. What the hell's changing now? Like what was the deciding factor? And ultimately it came down to, one just wasn't enough.
Can I tell you something?
What?
If we're still in LA, I don't think I would want a second one.
Why?
So like when I look at things, and this probably goes back to like the gift part of things. When you buy like a car, right? People are just usually looking at the price tag. I'm looking at insurance, registration, car repairs, like that kind of stuff, right? Do we have any parking spaces, or is our driveway tandem? If it's tandem, I don't think we should have more than 2 cars and be a pain in the ass move. Like I just think about a lot of stuff. That's just the way my brain works. And the way that LA is shaped, like in the type of activities I want Taika to have and the type of involvement I want with the family, it's almost impossible. So like,
how is Vegas more possible? There's no family out here.
And I'll explain right now.
Okay.
Since we moved to Vegas, so I'll address the extracurricular activities part and then I'll address the family part. Extracurricular activities wise, I grew up, and I think this is probably a very standard Asian upbringing. You do martial arts, swimming, and some sort of musical instrument. In LA, the way that it's built, those 3 places are at least 30 minutes apart. That's one kid. So after school, 3, rushed somewhere, 3:30, 3 to 4. Rush somewhere else, 4:30. You're not going to have a kid. Literally after school until 9 is activities and driving, most of it driving. And you're not going to have a kid. You're not going to have any bonding time. The weekend, we want to go on a hike and stuff like that. Forget about it. It's slammed. It's so hard, right? So you want to do that multiplied by 2. It's so difficult. Coming from Asia, you saw how convenient stuff is, right? Like my cousin, he gets out of school, rides his bike 5 minutes, that's where tutoring is. Rides his bike 5 minutes, that's where swimming is. And I think that mentality of like you have all these extracurricular activities from Asia. After 5, you do like 4 things. You're back home for dinner by 7 still. You get to hang out the whole night, bond, talk about everything that you did. In LA, at least where we live, and that was almost impossible. Times 2, that would have been freaking crazy. out here, that was one of the things that I've been gauging, right? When we take Taika to jiu-jitsu.
But wouldn't they both be in the same class?
No. Their interests, we want them to be the same. We could have a girl and one wants to do ballet or something. Or she wants to play baseball or soccer. Then you're just butt fucked, you know?
Not really. I mean, you can always plan it. Like
you can.
Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever is this. Thursday, Friday, Saturday's that.
You can try to be strategic about it, right?
Yeah.
But I like to look at things worst case and best case scenario. So when I'm driving around in Vegas, and I'm not just saying Vegas for Vegas, I'm talking about it could have been Texas probably, or anywhere that's just not so congested. It could be Tulsa, Oklahoma. But when I drive around and it feels like in LA, you're trying to do like, what's the term where you put like a square peg in a circle, right?
Yeah.
That toy.
Yeah.
It feels like people are trying to force a suburb life in a city. And that's the part that's tough. Whereas non-LA, the suburb feels like a suburb, or even maybe even further away from LA. Probably Rancho Cucamonga, you can already feel like this. So that's why I'm not saying it's really a LA or non-LA thing. It's more of a city versus suburb thing. But then also because we're in entertainment, we're forced to be in the city. You know, so being forced to be in the city, I'm like, man, that doesn't really work out. And since we are, so now addressing the family part of it, when we are in the same vicinity, like how many times did my dad come visit us? How many times did your brother come visit us? How many times did we come visit your brother? Because we're right in that distance where you're like, okay, we know we're close, but then we also take each other for granted. But it's also just far away enough where we don't plan for it. It is a whole day activity, you know? So it's that like perfect medium where it's just like, you know what, a phone call and a text will suffice like a month or whatever, right? Now that we're away, we value each other so much. We miss each other. So we can't wait to plan the next holiday. It could be 2 months away. Like, are we coming to you? You guys coming to me? Like next weekend, we're just straight up going to go visit your mom because you miss her. So now it's so much more intentional versus this like take it for granted thing on the side. And now my dad is like, dude, I miss you guys so much. I have to move here. Right? So he's going to move here. He's going to uproot himself. Whatever errands or whatever like routine he had going on, he's leaving that, coming to Vegas strictly for Taika and us. And that's how intentional it is. And so like seeing that and like kind of the effects of not living in the city and also how the family reacts and how the gatherings are less frequent but more intense. I'm like, cool, this is what I want. And if we bring in a second one, it feels like there's enough space to live the type of life that I would want for them.
I see.
Yeah. That's why for me, if we were still in LA and I'm like, damn, it's going to take like 30 minutes to an hour to do anything. Like if once my dad lives here, my dad's house is already 5 minutes away from Taika's Jiu-Jitsu. We could like literally have dinner at his house every night after Jiu-Jitsu if we wanted. Versus in LA, fuck, that's almost impossible. It had to be on the weekends, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. I get it. Yeah, but for me it was thinking all of that. I wasn't necessarily thinking that because that to me is not an issue because I had such a dope mom that even when she had multiple kids, she made it all work. She took my sister to softball. She took my brother to golf. She would take me to art classes or dance classes, my little sister to her classes. And she was always very much involved. So,
but no one has a black belt.
It doesn't matter. So for me, it was like, I know it's doable.
It's not doable. Taking someone to softball versus taking someone to softball from first grade till senior year in high school is way different.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. The life that I lived, my mom was able to guarantee if I got into an activity, regardless of what life circumstance, my mom had surgery too.
But you don't even have a black belt in anything.
I do have a black belt in Kung Fu.
Oh.
You know, like it's like to be able to make sure someone does something for 10 years.
You did Kung Fu for 10 years?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
That's different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like that's what I mean by like I don't want to dabble. Oh yeah, my kid played 2 years softball. Like, dude, that's peanuts. That's easy.
Yeah, that's also different. Like your mom's way of doing shit is pretty gnarly.
But also when you meet people in the big leagues, like once you go to like D1 school status and you talk to people,
for the most part, you feel like they're all forced.
No. When you see people that are successful, that success is built off the backbone of something else.
Yeah.
Like Mari, who we just talked to, right? her intense drive comes from her doing ballet for 20 years.
Yeah.
You know, and then what I've seen is people that haven't been able to live that, they give up fast. If people have done softball for 2 years, that's all they can give. After 2 years, they're going to give up on what every other thing they rinse and repeat. They're like, oh man, it seems like nothing is going well for me. Well, it's like, I apologize, but your parents didn't really hook you up with a good, strong backbone to keep going at things.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from, but that wasn't a consideration for me. It was more so what type of mom I could be to more than one. Because as it is, I was already so busy that I'm like, dude, that's not going to be fair. Because in my mind, there's an ideal and there's a standard that I want to live up to. And yeah, I didn't feel like I was going to be able to do that up until I really started thinking like, fuck, okay, this is really the last year I'm going to push it. I've even said this shit online too a little bit where I'm like, that's it. This is a year, you know? Yeah, and like I kept thinking of everything, and then, you know, even thinking of like the moment that we pass, and I'm like, oh man, Taika's literally all by himself. Like, that's it. Like you, right? Like you're all by yourself. That's it. You don't have anyone else to really like hit up about stuff. Even though I have more siblings and we just weren't that tight, that doesn't necessarily, just because you have more siblings doesn't necessarily guarantee closeness or like support in that way.
Yeah, my dad and his brother beefed until my grandpa passed.
Yeah.
And they still don't talk.
The thing though is, as dysfunctional as my family is, I know if shit really hits the fan, I know I can hit them up. Right? Like we hit each other. I mean, we hate each other, but if shit really hits the fan, like if some shit, like the world, we start going into World War, I don't know, fucking 3 right now. Then me and my sister who like are not that tight, I'll call her up. Yo, we got to get together. Cool. It's done. You know?
That's pretty cool.
I know, I even feel like that for your pops, right? Like there's, they're beefing or whatever, but if some real fucking shit happens where people need to band together, I'm sure they're gonna pick each other before they pick a lot of other strangers, you know?
No. My grandpa passed.
And he was begging.
And those two still couldn't squash it.
Yeah.
10 years later, my dad's brothers died, and then that's it. Didn't even go to his funeral.
Okay, well.
So I'm like,
I also only speak for myself. Yeah, so then like playing all those scenarios in my head and thinking about it, and this is stuff that I've like replayed in my head for fucking years. From the moment I said no more, I still kept going like, okay, but wait, like, are you really considering every single side? Are you really considering like your feelings? Like, I definitely want to consider you, because I as much as it is my body and it is like, you know, me deciding, because I am putting a lot more into it than you are. Like there's a lot more sacrifice on the woman.
I'm the frosting, I keep telling you though.
Yeah.
Cinnamon roll without the frosting is disgusting.
Yeah. Anyway, but because I'm doing the most sacrificing and I am the more emotional one, I still have to respect you and consider you and going, well, yeah, but I'm not a single fucking parent, you know?
And you also know the emotional punching bag I turned into once you are pregnant. So you know that.
Shut up. Why are you talking so much shit right now?
When I talk shit. I never talk shit.
I could see your goddamn fucking mug right now. I'll fucking straight up kick you. I'm long, dude.
You are pretty long. Long and sexy.
So yeah, so like always thinking about it. I had always thought about it.
Yeah. And
then yeah, it just hit me like I want it, you know, like I want one more. And yeah, this will literally be the last year. Like if it happens, cool. If not, cool.
Yeah. I mean, as much as I say I do all the calculations and stuff, I always try to prepare for a perfect world, right? But also I understand that the world is chaotic. So it's always kind of like, I think like the military, you get taught this, but I feel like a lot of people also teach this, where you prepare for the best, but you always expect the worst, right? So for me, I'm like, if we weren't in LA, I don't want to do it. That's not the life. Or in the city, that's not the life I would want for our kids. But like, let's say we
it doesn't even make sense though. Like you say that, but it's like, yeah, then we move. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, but that wasn't in the cards for us. We talked about moving so much, but we're just like, oh, we can't because we're this tied to this, that tied to that. Like,
no, but we also talked about once Taika is older and whatever, then it's like, then yeah, we are more mobile, and we do have to decide like we knew it wasn't going to be our end all be all because we still had Taika school and stuff.
Yeah, which we moved to a place that had a good school district, even in LA.
Yeah.
You know, but I think we didn't know we could move until the pandemic happened, which was kind of a blessing in disguise for our scheduling.
Yeah.
Where with JK, we're like, fuck, this is early pandemic, so we need to keep shooting because we feed like 20 something people. But at the same time, we don't have the funds to like have a doctor on set. COVID tests weren't even available. So we're like, well, based off the CDC, you quarantine for 14 days. So let's just shoot every 14 days. And then we'll keep each other updated if everyone's symptomatic or whatever. And we kept doing that. And no one got sick for like a whole year. You know, and people that were sick, they stayed out for the whole 2 weeks and we didn't see them for another month. And through that was when I think started opening up everyone's eyes, right? For us, we're like, oh shit, only twice a month? Maybe we could live somewhere else. For Joe's like, oh shit, only twice a month? That like international nomadic lifestyle I've been wanting to live, I can do that. And everyone's starting to able to like pursue what they wanted, you know? So I think for us, like I like to calculate and like, you know, really mitigate risk and stuff and see what's most plausible. But once we started moving out of LA and things were becoming like, oh shit, like we could live a more chill life. That's when I was, in my mind, without having talking to you, just in my mind, doing my own thoughts, I was like, oh, I think that's more possible. I'd be down.
Yeah.
But of course, like I say, I always prepare for, I'm ready for anything. So I'm like, if we did get accidentally pregnant in LA, I would keep them, of course. You know, I'm like, okay, I'll do whatever it takes.
That's crazy. I didn't even know that you didn't want one if we were still in LA. I guess you didn't even have to voice it because I was so convincing.
Well, I also am multi-layered all the time. You know, like everything. Why
are you able to be multi-layered, but I'm the one that's indecisive?
What do you mean?
Because I'm also multi-layered.
I'm decisively multi-layered.
So am I.
No, you're indecisively multi-layered.
I'm not indecisive. You're just talking shit again.
Am I?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. But yeah, and then just kind of like seeing how quickly kids grow. You know, like
I know, he's 4 all of a sudden.
He's 4, but going on 10. Like we're having some
yeah, I get
like
you.
we're having so many like intellectual deep conversations. Like he's expressing some deep emotions and like he puts together really deep jokes.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? Like he was just afraid of being blown away.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He thought it gets really windy in Vegas, and he thought that like he was gonna get blown away.
You guys have to watch that vlog. There's this vlog where me and Taika go to the park, and or we're playing in the backyard, and
in the park.
Yeah, he literally thought we were gonna get blown away, and it took us a week to help him get rid of that fear. And now he like when the wind blows, like
he makes fun of himself.
Makes fun of himself.
He'll be like, "Oh, whoa, I'm gonna blow away! Whoa, whoa, whoa!" And he's pretending like he's blown away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, that's such a complex joke to make, to laugh at yourself now, and you're only 4. So seeing how quickly he's grown, and I love him so much that I'm just like, dude, how rad would it be to have just one more fucking around and like nipping at his ankles, like he's like a little puppy now, you know?
Yeah, little bud.
And I'm like, dude, that'd be so cool. And I think it's a perfect age gap. Like it's not big at all. It's gonna be maybe 4 or 5 years. That's perfect.
Yeah, it'll be 5 years.
Yeah, it'll be 5 years. Yeah, and there were just too many pluses now, and I think it was because my life started slowing down. That I'm like, I don't want to do new things. I don't want to do bigger. I don't want to do any of that. Like, I just want a break.
Yeah.
I want a break, and I want to feel, little, you know, if that makes sense.
No.
Being in the public eye, not that you feel, not big in like a good way, but you feel like you need to be everywhere at once. Like you need to be responsive and engaging, and you need to be like thinking of the next thing and being aware of what's in, like the trends are, and like you have to be on a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and like
when I already scheduled that shooting date with all the buds.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hell yeah, I haven't done something for myself in a long time.
Right.
I want to go shooting. And then I get the email, you're cordially invited to the whatever Asian American gala thing. And I'm like, oh, fuck, I need to be there because anybody that is anybody in the Asian American circle is going to be there. And I haven't seen none of my friends in a long time. I should go there. This is so good. And then I was like, but man, that's just gonna be one more time I don't do something for myself.
Yeah. And
It
it
was so hard
sounds,
to not go.
yeah, and I don't want it to come off as ungrateful because I wouldn't be here where I'm at. Like I feel so blessed and I'm so grateful, and I don't take any of this stuff for granted. But also when it comes to like YouTube specifically,
Or when it comes to your own personal life.
no, when it comes to YouTube specifically, there's no such thing as taking a break from it. If you take a break, you die, you know? And like it gets like you need a break. You know, like it's been such a crazy year for everyone, I feel like, starting with 2020 and the uncertainty of that, and like being told you're constantly gonna die, and like stay away from everyone you love, and it becomes very isolating, and like we're still not back to normal, and it's this weird normal. So there's just so many things. Oh, and then us moving out here, and like moving out here completely by ourselves, no family, no friends. There were just too many things that I started feeling like, oh shit, like I want to do things for myself, as you're talking about, you know, like I want to not have to think about building anything. Like I love building and I love creating, but like I'm at a point right now where I'm like, I've done it for like almost 15 years straight, no real breaks, that I'm like, okay, wait, what? And we're all evolving and growing, right? We're living different, we're taking in different life experiences that start molding us, you know, and that's where this wisdom starts coming in. So the Geo that everybody knew back in 2008 when I first appeared online to the Geo that's now here in 2022 is completely different woman, you know? Like I've gone through so much, you've gone through so much. Like anyone in life should be going through so much, right? Like in the real world, that hopefully we've all evolved. And whatever dumb shit we were saying in the past, we're saying less of that, or like we're just matured now and different, and we just have different viewpoints on it. But yeah, just feeling how the world has kind of morphed and changed for me personally, me wanting to be more private, me wanting to like really build my own personal life and my own personal network and stuff, and pulling back from a lot of the stuff that I show online sounds like really good. Excuse me. It sounds like the move I want to make right now.
I felt like one of the healthiest things that I've seen from like celebrities was Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel. You know, like those guys, man, when you got that kind of fame where it's like Michael Jackson fame, you can't even go to the grocery store. You can't even like.
I don't think they're good, one, because Justin Timberlake has had such a shitty year. But let's talk about Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Had a shitty year? What do you mean?
I don't know. He just got caught up in just a bunch of dumb shit that he did.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I didn't even know. Well, I guess like excluding that because I'm not aware of that. The part that I
just the public
that I saw that I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, is when they had a baby, they just moved to Montana, and then they just cut out from all of the because you know, like in entertainment, it's not just the content, it's the content and the press and all that stuff that comes with it, right? And for him, like he was like, you know, I'm just coming to be out of the social eye, and him and Jessica Biel went out into Montana, super like woods, suburbs, and just lived there for 3 years. I'm like, wow, how good is that? You know, to be able to just focus on the family.
Yeah, and it's
really
important.
Dial in the things that are important.
Yeah.
You know, the people that you actually know face to face.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to feel like you're always servicing people that you don't know.
Yeah, which I didn't have an issue with, because obviously we're true to who we are, so it never feels like I'm putting on this fake person. That's why there's so many different versions of Geo throughout the years, because everyone has seen me literally grow up, which is crazy. Oh shit, that's literally what has happened. Like everyone has seen me long hair Geo, fucking super awkward, to now fucking shaving my head, my first tattoo, we reveal that we're together, our marriage, like literally everything has been put out there, like our sex life, like everything is out there, but it's all real. If I'm a bitch, it's because you know I'm a bitch. If I'm like nice, it's because you know I'm nice, and that's literally how, like, what you see is what you get type of shit. And it's kind of cool that, you know, we are vlogging and we are life, like we do our day-to-day vlogs and stuff, and that Taika really likes it because it makes it easy. Because I remember we would talk about all the time, as soon as Taika hits school, I want to pull him out. Yeah. From like our vlogs and stuff. But he gets so sad if I vlog and I don't include him. There's multiple vlogs out there.
Vlog me, mama.
Remember?
Vlog me.
Yeah, I think I wasn't even vlogging. I think I was doing a story. We were eating with Joe recently. And I was like recording just the food, right? I'm like, oh, Joe got this, Hannah got this, Papa got this, and I got this. And I stopped it. And then Taika was ready with his plate. He was ready to show me, and I stopped. And he goes, Mom, you're not going to show them what I'm eating? You're not going to show what I'm eating? I want to talk about it. And I was like, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. So then I do it. And he goes, I have chicken and I have rice with the flag. And I was like, oh, that's really cool, you know?
What's cuny is he doesn't even know who them is.
No, he doesn't.
He's just like, we got to tell them. Kind of sounds like DJ Khaled, you know, and it's like, they don't want you to succeed. And you're like, who's they?
Yeah. Yeah, but he likes it, you know? Yeah. So vlogging is one of those things that I view as just my digital diaries, no, journal, fucking the picture book, photo album. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just now a digital photo album, which is super rad that we get to keep. And that's not something I ever see us ever stopping, because regardless if we get views or not, it's really cool to just have it there. And then whenever it is that we get the yearning to go back to that point in time, we have it, you know? But yeah, now I'm at a point where I'm like, oh shit, I really want to focus on this new dynamic, you know, because we focused on us as a dynamic, and then this new kid came into the picture, becomes a new dynamic, but we're still running. Where now it's really been super cool that like we have a schedule, like a parent family schedule. I love it. Like we wake up at 6, get him ready. By 7-ish, he's leaving to go to school. We work by 2:45. We pick him up. We buy him snacks, 2:45 to like 3:45. Then he gets his jujitsu practice. Then we get dinner. Like it's like this rinse and repeat. Like every single day, it's the same schedule.
And I love it.
I think it's super cuny. Yeah, I love it too. And I like that. And I really want to like dig into that more and like lean into that more. And then the idea of having another little buddy in the picture, I'm like, that's fucking cute. So and I never thought that. I really felt in like my fucking bones that I'm like, that's it. I can only do one. Like that's like my life is too crazy. I don't want anything else. Like we're perfect. He's awesome. We're awesome as the three of us. But again, like as things start slowing down and the more I want, you know, to take back a little bit more privacy and stuff. That sounds weird. It's not a privacy thing, but I think it's just me focusing more on my wants.
Yeah, on you.
Yeah. And myself. Which was a big theme for me back in 2021, at the end of 2020, where like, you know, I just had a lot of different eye-opening experiences that really taught me a lot about like life and relationships and those dynamics and stuff and what I wanted in my life. That come 2022 or the end of 2021, I'm like, yeah, this is what I want. And I blew myself away. Because I was so about not having another kid. Then I'm like, wait, bitch, like we said no. Like what happened? Where are we? Why is it a yes? And I even had to convince myself, and not convince myself because it's of someone else's want, but to be like, wait, no, I need to check you on it. Like, are you for real? Like, are we really going to do this shit? Like, is this what you really want? And I'm like, yeah, like.
It surprised me too.
Absolutely.
Because I remember I busted in a condom and I threw it in a trash can, and you got a Q-tip and you're like sticking it in the condom and you're putting it back up your vag. I'm like, what are you doing, babe?
Shut the fuck up. I'm like, this is what groupies, you had me, dude.
I'm like, this is what groupies do. This is what groupies do to NBA basketball players. And then
it's a lie. I knew you were lying because you flush it down the toilet.
No, and then I saw you like poking holes in my condoms. I'm like, babe, what the hell's going on? You don't have to do that.
You're full of shit. You wish I wanted that nasty cum that bad. You wish I wanted that cum.
You know what else like really helped me?
No, but really, were you surprised?
I was.
Okay.
Remember? I was like, cause I really thought it was like 90 and then 95 and 99. And I was like, okay, she's getting to that blue cheese age that I'm like, I don't know if you want any more of this cheese. Cause it's kind of like, I don't know, smells like you should just throw it out the back.
Ew, your cheese? Ugh.
No, your blue cheese.
Why don't you have cheese?
What do you mean? Cause guys keep making that fresh cheese until they're like 75.
All right.
And then so I was like, yeah, I think we're done. So when he told me, I was like, oh shit. Like it kind of like rattled my brain, and it kind of like, you know, I kind of have like this rough outline of what the next 5 years look like, and it was like like an etch a sketch, you know. Uh-oh, it's a new one. And I started etch a sketching, and then just started feeling cunier.
Yeah.
And I've always like looked at you know, when we take Taika to jiu-jitsu, and those families
I think that helps
yeah,
too.
the families that have like brothers like and sisters.
That's really CUNY.
And
I
then,
think that
yeah,
definitely
I
was
always
like,
looked at them with very fond eyes, you know,
Yeah.
because I'm like, you see the bigger kid in the big kid class, then you see the little kid and that little kid. Like there's that one family that has like 4 kids, and there's the kid in the big kid class, and then
there's like 2 kids in the big kid class, 2 in the small.
but the kid that used to be in the little kid class went into the big kid class. And then there's a little kid in the little kid class, and then there's the extra baby guy that
was always on the mama's lap, and
Yeah.
now he's joining the classes.
Yeah, he's just like there, you know, like dangling his feet because the chair's too high, and he's looking at his other 3 siblings, and he's just like, oh, cool. And then you see him jump in, jump out, you know, because sometimes he's not ready because he's actually even smaller than Taika, so he's not even ready for it. So he'll do 10 minutes of the class, and he jumps out of it, and the coach is cool with that, you know. And I just see that, and then there's all these other families, and I'm just like, oh, it's so CUNY, you know?
Yeah, that for sure was another factor when I was looking and when I was just kind of like about it.
And you see how good the little kids are that have the bigger sibling, guy or girl, in the big kids class, you know? Because you're like, oh, they practice, they pass all these things along. Like all the kids that have an older brother or sister,
Yeah.
they're little stud muffins.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's where we're at with it. So, you guys are getting absolutely exclusive news. Don't know when we'll like make a video about this. We have so much news we want to share with you guys that we've kind of been withholding, but definitely continue to support the YouTube channel. We're going to start doing different content on there, and we're going to start doing a lot more life updates because there's just life has been happening so quickly out here. That we just haven't been documenting that part of it, but we will start releasing it. So this part, at least, you guys are getting the exclusive on that. Yeah, this is going to be the last year that we try. And if it happens, awesome. And if it doesn't happen, then it wasn't meant to be. And it's still very much awesome. But thank you guys for the continued support throughout the years. It's been really dope sharing our life with you guys. And I hope that none of this ever came off as complaining or anything. This is just a very vulnerable take on things that, you know, we do go through as people that have shared so much online. So thank you so much for allowing us to grow in front of you guys and to experience life and make our mistakes and have our victories and stuff. It's been really dope to share everything and get your guys' positive feedback and just feedback on it, honestly. Like, I always enjoy feedback. I hate fucking trolls, but I enjoy feedback. So thank you so much. Love you guys so much. And we will continue doing our best for you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.